Dropshipping. You either know about it or you don't. If you've clicked on this video, I'm going to hazard a guess that you don't. I plan to explain this type of business from the perspective of someone who's brought up in the world of traditional business. You know what I mean. The type of business where you open up shop and customers came to you to buy. Yeah, well, dropshipping is quite a bit different to that. This video is for those just trying to get a handle on the concept. It's not an explainer on how to set up such a business, but I do cover how to start the motion if this is something that you're interested to do. So, let's do this. E-commerce has been an appealing trend in recent years. One of the types of e-commerce businesses is dropshipping. Dropshipping is a business model that involves three parties. First, we have the buyer, the person who buys the product. Then we have the dropshipper, the seller of the goods. And third, we have the supplier, the manufacturer or the third party who actually holds the product until it's sent to the buyer. Typically, when you sell a product on your website, you are responsible for confirming that it's delivered to the appropriate buyer. Dropshipping, on the other hand, is a business concept where once the online retailer receives an order from the customer, they then immediately purchase this item from the wholesaler manufacturer, who is the one who then ships the product straight to the customer. The online shop who sold the product actually never even handles the item. Fascinating, isn't it? Let's play this out in an example. Amy wants to buy a dress from the online shop, Pretty Big Things. The dress costs $30. She then places the order. The shop Pretty Big Things receives the order and then immediately places the same order with their supplier for $20, who package up the item and post it straight out to Amy. Do you get it? As with any business model, dropshipping also has its pros and cons. One of the biggest advantages of the model is that you can rapidly scale your business by offering lots of products as soon as you launch, without having to buy them and stocking them in a warehouse. The time saving for the middleman who is selling the product is incredible. All orders are placed electronically, and with technology nowadays, as soon as an order comes in, it can actually be placed with the supplier automatically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All the product seller has to do is check that the systems are working correctly at regular intervals. The cost saving for online retailers is also high, leaving more budget for marketing strategy and sales platform design. He doesn't need a warehouse, he doesn't need a big team, so overheads are low, funds don't get tied into stock that takes years to sell, and the saving on logistics alone is also sizable. Hearing all of that, you'd be forgiven for thinking that dropshipping seems too good to be true. Well, let me tell you about the downsides before you decide your position on the matter. The biggest disadvantage that stood out to me was the trust and dependency you needed to have on the supplier, especially at the beginning of the project when you have no relationship with each other. I would find that person like a nightmare. Since you are placing most of the burden of the transaction on the supplier, often the profit margin for the online seller is exceptionally modest. So even if you spend a significant amount of money on advertising to make the sale, the profit from the order may be insufficient to offset the advertising expenditures that you have incurred. If there's a low profit, this means that you'll be pressured into making a large number of sales to make a decent profit. Quality control can also be a challenge, since in this scenario you are not even interacting with the product itself, let alone checking it. The thing is, if something falls below agreed standards, it is still your brand name that is tarnished. If your interest in the dropshipping model has been piqued, then the place to find the most accurate and up-to-date guidance is actually available for free on YouTube. To get started, follow YouTube tutorials to set up a business and develop a single product store or a general store. There are many paid courses out there too, but I suggest you watch some of the free content that the course creators have put out there to ensure that their style and approach to dropshipping matches most closely your style of business. Another option is to be mentored by a pro advisor to get off to a speedier start. This will cost a bit, but if time is of the essence, do consider this route too. Whichever route you choose, the first thing any professional dropshipper will advise you is to start out in a particular niche. For instance, say you wanted to open an electronics shop. Electronics is a very wide space to operate in, so it's best to find a niche within that area, such as smart home technology or handheld kitchen appliances, for instance. What this niching down does is help your new customers to find you more easily and to begin to identify you as an expert shop in that niche. Now that you know what niche you're operating in, the next obstacle to overcome is finding the right supplier partner. I'm quite cautious when it comes to professional relationships, so I would go with the best established one, rather than being too price sensitive at this point. Having an experienced supplier by your side will be a tremendous assurance. Nonetheless, this is still a new relationship, so I would test it for a defined period of time in a small geographic area. Then watch the data and customer feedback. Once the relationship is secure, I would roll the shop out in ever-increasing towns and countries at a steady pace. We are living in a time where online buying is not going anywhere. In 2020 alone, there were 2.05 billion global digital buyers. Of the e-commerce businesses serving these online digital buyers, at least 33% of online retailers have adopted dropshipping. Saying that, as much as some content creators will have you thinking, dropshipping is not a get-rich-fast plan. Remember that to get a value in return, you must first contribute value to others, meaning that you'll have to make serious moves to build trust in the eyes of the customer. Just because you open up shop, it doesn't mean that they should buy from you. Focusing on your marketing message and the functionality of your website is definitely a good place to start. I hope this video has opened up a new world of e-commerce to you. I know it's hard for those brought up in the ranks of traditional bricks and mortar businesses to trust something like this, that it exists and that it works. Whenever I start doubting the changes in business around me, I think of everything I buy as an individual. And then I realize that I'm already partaking in this sort of business model. The key is not to let my old school training hold me back from saying yes to the natural progression of enterprise. I'd love to know your thoughts on the matter. Until next time, you've got this. Hi, my name's Priyanka, and I know a deep, dark secret that you're holding in your heart. You love business and you really want to subscribe to this channel. Do it. I believe in you.